Good afternoon, Matt's 2022. Thanks everyone for taking the time to come here today. We're Raye, Ackerman, and James Poston from eCapital. I'd like to start off kind of giving you a 90-second commercial to give you an idea about what eCapital is all about. So.
Money, money. Look out for money. Southbound on money.
Money that money.
Just money.
Money, 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 money. Money. Here goes the money.
Money.
Money, 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 money.
Where the money are you?
The money blew up.
The money has been moneyed.
That's money.
Money, 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 money. See you in 1,200 miles.
Good night, money.
Did you brush your money?
Yes, I brush my
Money! Oh, are you moneying me right now? Come on!
What can I money you today, honey?
I'm gonna get the eggs with money.
Need you to sign on the money for me.
Jeffrey.
No matter what, trucking takes a constant source of
Money.
Money.
Money. Money.
Money! Money!
If you're a Kentucky homeowner, 2022 is your last.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully, some people can maybe relate to that commercial just a little bit. Put your hand up if you can relate, just a little bit. All those people with their hands down haven't started trucking yet. That's gonna be my guess. So my name's Raye Ackerman. I've been in the transportation industry for quite a while, probably since the late 90s as a broker. Then, for some stupid reason, started trucking. After making lots of margin as a broker, then moved on to trucking, but I've really enjoyed the trucking side of things until I moved on to the software side. Then worked in the software side for a number of years with a few different companies you guys might know, and then transitioned out of that back into the finance side of things, and then working with eCapital. And James?
Hi, I'm James Poston. I've been financing transportation companies now for over 15 years, and I'm the boring accountant who's up here, so I apologize in advance for when we get into the technical stuff of this presentation, but looking forward to helping you guys all here today. Thank you.
We're going to make sure James doesn't bore you too much once he gets into the accounting side of things here too. But ultimately what we're going to talk about here is money, how to make some more money in the trucking industry. I had the opportunity to talk to a bunch of you guys before we started out here just to get a sense of where you're at. We got everybody from owner-operators, somebody who's just started out. We got somebody who's running 85 trucks, which is still here, still trying to learn, and everything in between that. We've got some guys running some broker freight, people running some regular customer freight as well too. So we're kind of all over the place with some of the business that we're doing. So we're going to talk to you about a few things like that. But let's just, before we get into that, put your hand up if you do not have your authority yet, if you're still trying to figure out what to do. Just go ahead and put your hand up for me. So not too, we got a few people in the room here too, a few new people at the back there too, trying to figure out what to do. So great. Put your hand up if you have a truck and you're currently running right now. Nice. If you have more than one truck, keep your hand up. Few hands, more than 2 trucks? Few more, good. So we've got a few guys running with lots of trucks here, which is great. So for those people that don't have their authorities, who has not applied for their authority yet or doesn't know about the FMCSA? Okay, so out in the main building, when you first walk in, there's a booth over there for FMCSA. You need to walk over there, tell them exactly who you are and what you're looking to do, and they're going to walk you through the entire process as far as what you need to do to get your authority. That's your number one thing. They're also going to talk to you about insurance, and the next thing you're going to have to start thinking about after that is, how am I going to keep moving? Okay, so load boards becomes next. So those are the 3 things anybody that's new needs to look at: authority, insurance, and then load boards, and how to try to get yourself loaded and keep it moving. Okay, so we'll start there real quick. For everybody else, we're going to jump right into a few tips right out of the gate. Okay, my experience is on a lot of different products in transportation, including software, including load boards, including running my own business. I remember being down in Cleveland, Ohio, and I was at an Expeditors conference down there, and we had a room about this many people in the room. And I said, okay, great. I was working for the Internet Truck Stop at the time. Great brand, great product. And I said to them, we're going to talk about how to make more money using a load board. And I said, who knows their cost per mile? Put your hand up. Wow. Whew. That's about what happened there. So the number one thing you need to do in order to figure out whether you're making money is understanding how much money you actually need to make. Does that make sense? I'll say it again. The number one thing you need to figure out if you're making money is how much money you actually need to make. So you need to know your costs. And if you guys do not know your costs, it's impossible for you to make money. So you're going to have to look at how many miles are you running a month. You're going to have to look at what are all my fixed monthly expenses. You're going to have to look at what does my fuel cost me to run per mile. You're going to have to figure out how much am I paying myself. Because you're not doing this as a not-for-profit. I made that joke earlier with a few people, right? We're in the trucking business to make money, hopefully, maybe. We're not running a not-for-profit. So how much are you going to pay yourself? Once you know that, you guys can actually start looking at load boards. You can start looking at what you're going to charge to go from point A to point B to C to D and keep yourself moving. But you have to know how much money it costs you to run your truck per mile. There's a guy who's running 85 trucks. I'm not going to call you out too much, sir, but you know your cost per mile for your trucks. I'm pretty sure you know your cost per mile per trucks. For the most part, he does, right? But you're not going to grow your business unless you know your cost per mile. One real quick story on that. In between working for a software company and running my own brokerage, I did some work with a friend of mine. And he was running 30 trucks at the time. And he said, hey, can you help me out with some sales work? And I said, sure, absolutely, I can help you with some sales work. Let's go out and chase some business down. Let's go out and see what we can get. What's your cost per mile? And he looked at me like deer in headlights. I spent the next 2 months working with him to try to understand what his cost is, what his shop expenses are, everything about his business to try to figure out exactly where he needs to be so that I could go out there and say, I can do your freight for you. It's going to cost you $2.25 to go from point A to point B. Or I can do your freight for you, and I can do all this automotive freight going down to the south, but this is how much money I need in order for us to make money at this. Once we actually identified what his cost per mile was, he realized he was running at 25 cents per mile less than what his cost was. Had to pivot and change his business immediately. 30 trucks. So you don't want to be in that position. So when you're starting out, you guys got to understand, figure out, do the math, ask somebody, go online, find a cost per mile calculator. We have one on our website as well, actually, too, so you can actually check that out, where it asks you all the specific stuff to plug in there, so you guys can figure out what your cost per mile needs to be. All right? Any questions on that? We're around at the end to talk a bit more about this as well, too. Clicker's not working. There we go. Load boards. Everybody know what a load board is? Put your hand up if you don't know what a load board is. Put your hand up if you don't know what a load board is but don't want to put your hand up. Okay, load boards are beautiful. They're awesome. They're great. The industry doesn't exist without load boards. People have been trying to automate load boards and get load boards out of the equation. They're never going to disappear. They're always going to exist. The key to a load board is understanding how to use it. Truck stop, get loaded, 123 load board, DAT services, all awesome products, all awesome solutions, but you have to understand how to use it. If you don't have a home base that you're trying to get back to, and you're using a load board to find your next load, then your next load, and your next load, and all your loads are coming from a load board, you guys have to understand where you're actually running to. So you're going to have to think about this from the standpoint of planning ahead. There's going to be good load boards, there's going to be good markets to run into, there's going to be bad markets to run into. You run into a good market, your rate, more than likely, is going to be pretty low. You run into a bad market, broker's going to have to pay you more money because they're struggling to move that load. So who's on a load board or not? Who uses load boards regularly? When you see a broker posting a rate per mile, what do you think that's telling you? Any guesses? Sorry? Yell for me, I can't hear you. How bad the market is. if they have to post a rate per mile to get a load moved, they're struggling. They're trying to entice you. They're trying to excite you. They're trying to get you motivated. Conversely, if there's no rate per mile posted, there's probably a lot of freight going in that market, right? There's no issue with that market whatsoever. So when you actually look at a load board, I'm going to show you something real quick. This is a load board. This is out of Chicago. This is showing us for the week of March 21st to March 31st. We have 2,143 loads posted. That's not too bad for Chicago. Van and reefer loads go moving out of Chicago right now. So that's highlighted as 2,143 loads. If you look at a couple of these loads, or let's look at another market. Salt Lake City, Utah. So if you happen to be in Chicago, 2,143 loads available, and you're taking a load to Salt Lake City, Utah, you've just dumped yourself into a market with 97 loads. Is that a good market or a bad market? That's not such a good market, right? So if you're not looking at the destination that you're actually running to, see some nodding, see some people nodding. If you're not looking at the destination that you're actually running to understand what the freight is coming out of that market, you're going to be struggling. Now all of a sudden you got two choices. You're going to take a real crappy paying load, or you're going to have to deadhead 300, 400, 500 miles to find a load that does pay you decently. But if we go back to that first slide, and we think about you understanding your cost per mile, guess what you get to do? You get to play that math game. You say, okay, my cost per mile is $2 a mile. That's way high, but let's just use two. Let's say one. I'll keep the math simple. My cost per mile is $1 a mile. It's going to be 2,000 miles to run into Utah from Illinois, and $2,000 is what my cost is. I know I'm going to charge $2 a mile. I'm going to make $1 a mile, so I'm up. You're going to have to charge effectively coming out of Utah to make sure you can stay above your cost per mile, because you're not going to make any money. If you're not doing that, you're not making any money. So when you're going into a market that has no freight, do you charge more or do you charge less? More. Oh, yes. Thank you. Who yelled that? Guy over there. Has that happened to you? 100%. $3 a mile from right now from Illinois into the East Coast. Why do you think that is? $3, $3.50 a mile for reefer freight from the East Coast, from Midwest into the East Coast. There's no freight coming back out. You guys are going to struggle. You're going to have to deadhead, right? How's that going to affect your profitability? So it's very, very, very important to understand the markets that you guys are running into, and understanding, don't dump yourself into a market where you're going to be stuck. So don't just think about your next load. You got to think about who plays chess. Anybody play chess? A few chess players? What's the number one rule in chess? Think ahead. It's not just about your next move. It's your next move. It's your next move, right? So keep yourself thinking about the freight you're going to be running, and think about the big picture where you want to go. And if you do have to take that load into a market that's a crappy market like this, where there's only 97 loads coming out, you might have to deadhead, then charge for it. Make sure you're getting enough money on the front end going in to cover your butt coming out, because you're going to have to do some deadheading, or you're going to be fighting with everybody else for a really crappy paying load. And I guarantee you, when we start looking through some of these loads on here too, there's not going to be a lot of great paying freight coming out of that market. That's just what's going to happen. All right? The one thing I always find funny about transportation and trucking companies and trucking company owners, how many of you guys actually consider yourself to be entrepreneurs? Ooh, I only see a couple of hands. And the rest of you guys aren't business owners? Wow. If you go and start any business out there right now, other than a trucking business, you're going to put systems and structure and policies and programs in place in order to run your business. Why is trucking any different? Why don't we put systems in place so we can effectively run our back office, versus waiting for the phone to call, and it's a DOT calling, or it's IFTA calling saying, hey, you haven't filed your taxes for the past 9 months. What's going on? Right? Because you don't know what IFTA is. You had no idea. See some people smiling. You haven't had those calls, have you? No, you don't want to get those calls. right? So why do we run our businesses in such a way where we don't have an efficient back office, where we're not looking after everything from an administration standpoint? We don't have the proper tools in place in order to run our business, and we're not looking at things like accounting. We're not looking like things maintenance. We're not looking at managing and monitoring our drivers, so we're not sending a driver down the road with an expired driver's license. We're not managing our trucks and trailers and permits. We're not looking after our IFTA. All these things can come back and bite you in the butt. And the minute you got to take your mind off of finding your next load, keeping your trucks loaded, hiring drivers, growing your fleet, the minute you got to take your mind and your focus off of that, you suddenly affect your profitability. You're not going to be profitable if you got to start focusing on all those little things which can be so easily fixed with having a solution in place, whether it's a software solution, whether it's a partner that you find, whether it's somebody you hire to run your back office for you, whether it's finding somebody who may not be your partner to run your bookkeeping because maybe they can do a little bit more efficiently than your partner can, because that's usually the way it goes. Run your business like a business. Trucking does not need to be a business that's completely standalone from everything else, where we don't run our business like a business. Got it? Who's using some sort of form of a software right now? Dispatch software? Yeah, so few hands up, right? Who's using Excel or Word? Google Docs? Pen and paper? Couple guys back there. Yeah, pen and paper, that's us. Yeah, we got it. You know? There's a lot of guys that are not using an automated system in order to run their business. Automated systems don't need to be complicated. This is the stuff you need to track. So from the standpoint of keeping track of your customers, your shippers, your receivers, drivers, trucks, trailers, carriers, running border, your freight cross-border, you need customs brokers, factoring companies, users, managing your billing, managing your preferences. This is the kind of, if you're not managing this stuff and managing it with a little bit of detail and structure and focus, with one truck, it's got to start with one truck, and you build on it. You're not going to be able to build on it. You'll be able to track your numbers, you'll be able to track your operation, you'll be able to keep track of your profitability, cost per mile, expenses, how much you're paying yourself, your taxes, all those little things that you guys think are, you know, something that truck drivers don't have to do. Well, you guys aren't truck drivers. You're entrepreneurs. You're business owners. Right? It's really about starting to act like a business owner with everything that you're doing in running your business. It's a big shift. It's a big focus. That's it for me, guys. I'm going to transfer this over to James. James is going to look after this, but we'll talk a little bit more after. If you guys have any questions about business operation, some of these things, I don't want to go over 15 or 20 different things with you. It's like 5 key things, right, that you really got to focus on. Think about your cost per mile. Think about automating your business. Think about finding a load board that you can trust, that you can work with, whoever that happens to be. Think about using that load board effectively and putting some sort of an operating system in place to manage all of that stuff. And like I said, we'll touch on this a bunch of times today. Think about yourselves, please, 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 as business owners. Right? That's it for me, guys.
Thanks, Ray. As I said before, I am the accountant. I apologize. You know, at the end of the day, I'll try not to bore you too much. Everything Ray's been talking about here has been relating to revenue, right? Managing your costs, driving efficiencies, which at the end of the day is going to result in profit. One of my favorite things that you need to understand as business owners and entrepreneurs is an expression a mentor of mine once told me, is that revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash is king. At the end of the day, a paper profit does not pay the bill when the bill comes due. So these are 2 things that I really, really stress when I work with transportation companies about really making sure you understand what it is you're trying to achieve. So we talk about working capital. Current assets minus current liabilities. The amount of money available to pay short-term obligations for trucking companies that come up every single day. Every day, something will come up. Brakes go, tire blows, whatever it may be, every day an over-the-road expense shows up that you probably weren't planning on. So you need to make sure you have enough working capital. The working capital cycle is the difference between how long it takes you to get paid from your customers versus how long it is you got to pay all your vendors. Right? It's so important. Positive working capital cycle means there's a period where you're waiting to collect invoices to make payments. Negative working capital cycle means you have enough cash on hand to make all of the payments when they come due. So you want a negative working capital cycle at the end of the day. or you need to have some sort of financing in the background in order to help you bridge that gap. Protect yourself against the unexpected. Have enough cash to stay liquid. Lack of liquidity is the leading cause for business failure. There are businesses right here, right now, that have got wonderful profitability. They are making a lot of money on paper, but they don't have the cash, and therefore they cannot run. So without enough cash to stay liquid, your business can face some major problems when it comes to over-the-road, unexpected over-the-road expenses, missed growth opportunities to buy a new truck, take on a new customer. All of these things have an impact on your business and its ability to grow. And remember, paper profits do not pay the bills. The other thing you need to look at is you need to really be looking at partnerships. It all starts with people. So Raye talked about having the right people in your back office, right? It's not just your back office. It's having a good partner, a good financial partner, what to look for. In my opinion, right, it all starts with a common set of values or shared interests, right? When I look at who I want to partner with, you know, I'm looking for someone who's responsive. They're there when I need them to be there, right? My truck breaks down on the side of the road in the middle of the night. I need to know that I can call a maintenance person who'll be able to get out there, be able to help me. I need someone that's got integrity, right? Mutual trust, transparency. There's so many people in the world that are not honest these days. I don't want gray. I want black and white. If I'm not doing it right, tell me I'm not doing it right. If I am doing it right, tell me I'm doing it right. I don't want gray. Give it to me black and white. I want solution-focused people. I've got a problem. I need you to help me. I don't need you to add problems on top of my problems. I got enough of that, right? I got kids. I got lots of that, right? I need people that are there to help me. Give me the solution. And I need it expediently. I don't need it tomorrow, a week from now. I need it now. I'm in the trucking business. Something has gone wrong here and now. I need help now, right? So it has to be expedient at the end of the day. So you need to make sure you need to find a good financial partner, be it a bank, be it a factoring company, be it mom and dad, be it friends, be it family, wherever it is. You need to have a partner that's going to be able to help you out when it comes to the financing of your business. So invoice factoring is one thing you can look at. You need to find a partner that you know is dependable for your cash flow needs. A company that allows you to have a positive working capital cycle as you get your cash the same day you invoice, right? Ends up having your negative working capital cycle on the back end, right? You invoice today, cash in your bank account today. You have money to pay any bill that comes up. You need additional cash support potentially, revolving lines of credit on top of what you're factoring. This is a cash, desperate business. You need to have cash. Having $100,000, $1 million of receivables out there but no cash in the bank account is not going to allow you to pay any bills. You got to have cash. Collection experts. They're very experienced in receivables management. Ensure your clients look after the factoring company as a priority. What I mean by that is, we manage all of your receivables for you. Get us the right paperwork so we can call your customer and get you paid, right? It's a partnership. We are an integral part of your business, and we're there to support you. And the last thing I would say when it comes down to it is go for more. Find a partner that gives you more, right? I don't know if anyone here works with a bank, but I am 110124115 to my bank. He has no idea who I am, where I am, or what it is I'm doing. He doesn't take the time to understand my business. We are partners that want to understand your business, and we want to give you more. Visa to manage all of your over-the-road expenses and have access to your cash account 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because trucks run on weekends, and they break down on weekends. Banks only send wires Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Money when you need it most versus depending on the bank transfers and schedules, right? Load boards are business management or dispatching software to manage your trucks and keep them loaded. What Raye was talking about, right? Fuel partner, discounts at stations all over America. What's the largest cost for a trucking company? Fuel, right? It's the number one thing you gotta look to manage, right? There's partners all around here that you can go and talk to that'll help you out and manage your fuel expense. You need someone to partner with when it comes to that cost. If you're paying pump cash price on every single load you're doing, no chance you're gonna be profitable. You have to find someone that can help you out and support you. And at the end of the day, as Raye said, you guys are not truckers, you guys are entrepreneurs. You need to run your business like an entrepreneur. That's really all we got for you today. We left a lot of time in order to answer questions because we didn't know if there were going to be any. So I'm James Poston. This is Raye Ackerman, eCapital. Come over and see us. We're the money guys. We've got the money booth going. I'm sure hopefully some of you have been in it today. And we look forward to answering any questions you may have here or at the booth. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Any questions here, guys, before you take off? Any questions? Yeah.
Pardon? Sure, no problem at all. So on top of 100% advance, right, every single one of our clients gets an automatic, guaranteed, pre-approved revolving line of credit for $2,500 on top of 100% advance against your receivables. And you can access your money with us via our Visa commercial credit cards.
Who knows what invoice factoring is? Sorry, who does not know what invoice factoring is? Put your hand up if you have no clue what invoice factoring is. Okay, so everybody's aware of what invoice factoring is and how that works.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, as I say, on top of 100% advance against your invoice, you get access to a $2,500 line of credit minimum, and it goes up based on your number of trucks. So if you got one truck, $2,500. 2 trucks, we'll give you an extra $1,500 all the way up to as many as you need at the end of the day. So it gives you the additional liquidity, deposit on a truck, handle that unexpected over-the-road expense, whatever it may be, and you can use our Visa cards anywhere Visa's accepted. Either or, sir. Non-recourse, recourse, whatever you want it to be. Absolutely can. Every single client. And with Visa, you also get access to InstaPay, which allows you to send up to $10,000, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Instant money. As soon as you send your invoices to us, you can send the money up to $10,000 anywhere. Any other questions? Anything else? Well, guys, I appreciate everybody taking the time. As I say, we're over eCapital at the Money booth.
Yeah, go ahead.
We give 100%, and based on the volume of your business, it can be anywhere from 0.5 to upwards of 2%.
But wait, James, isn't there a show promotion going on?
There is right now. It's 90 days of free factoring. If you sign up with us today, no fees for 90 days.
Thank you.
Contract, so 90-day free trial. You can come try us for free for 90 days, and if you don't like it, let you out, no problem, 30 days after. Well, come and have us talk to us at the booth. I don't know anything about your business.
We're over at the Money booth. We're giving away all the money there in the Money booth.
I'll
So
come
if
talk to
anybody
you
has
right
any
now, sir, and I'll
questions-
tell you exactly how much I'll charge you. For you got a kid? Do you have children? All right, I'll take your firstborn. That's how much it's going to cost you. I don't blame him. In actual fact, I got 2. You want to take mine? Fair enough. But yeah, no, happy to have a conversation with you, give you everything you need. If you need less than $150,000, we'll sign you up right here at the show. Yeah, so we also have 5-star dispatch. That's a product that's about to get launched. That's what Raye's obviously been working with us on in order to develop. So happy to have a conversation with you about that too.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to what James references by finding a partner that has a lot of different solutions. We don't want to come up here and just sell our product and who we are. It could be anybody that you're working with. Like I referenced, there's a lot of good products that are out there. But it's really nice to get, into a relationship with somebody that provides you with a bunch of the things you need. So, through our company and what we provide a load board, we provide the financing and the factoring, we provide a Visa product, we provide a dispatching solution. We'll cut your grass if you're not home. And, there's a bunch of things that we provide, right? So there's a lot of different companies that are out there. What you need to do is find that right company that has the suite of products that are going to make you the most effective at running your business as you can. Right? That's the goal. So.
How much is that? Okay, stand up, turn around. You see all those people up there in those gray shirts? They'll go beat that rate for you right now. Go talk to them, sir. Serious. Anything else?
Any questions about the load board, guys? How to use a load board? How to find good loads, rates, your cost per mile. Everybody knows how to figure out their cost per mile. You're all going to figure out, find a calculator. On our website, there is a cost per mile calculator as well, too. So you can put your information in there. So play with that. So I think there's a link somewhere. Or again, come by our booth and we can show you how to access that cost per mile calculator. At least give yourself an idea. Please stop guessing. Like, guessing doesn't work, right? Entrepreneurs don't guess. They got to figure it out. So I like the smiling over here because you were guessing. You were doing a lot of guessing. Thanks, everyone. Look forward to hopefully seeing you by our booth.